And this is like when I graduated. So this picture it's on my desk. I don't know if you guys see it.
The positive mindset helps so much. Being around positive people.
Comparing myself from health, from relationships, from career, from legacy point of view with anyone else, then the topic today is so interesting and important. Um, the resilience or overcoming challenges with grace, because challenges are part of life. Uh, there is no life without struggle. There is no life without challenges. We all will experience struggle, challenges, obstacles, dangers, and the life skill that is so crucial to live a happy and healthy life is developing your resilience muscle, developing your muscle to overcome challenges. And that's the topic today. Our speaker had the presentation. She got sick this morning or last night, so she couldn't join this morning. She informed us this morning. So we will make it very interactive. We can learn from each other today on the same topic. So we always start with positive focus. And so let's take about 30 to 60 seconds on positive focus. Uh, we will start with the most amazing dance person, Drishti. Drishti, positive focus. What's good in life? Share one thing.
The what's good in life is when your family see you while you're growing. So that's the positive thing.
Awesome. Okay. Randall, what's positive, Randall?
I celebrated my first year yesterday.
Awesome.
1 year,
Congratulations.
baby.
Wow. Amazing. And huge impact in just 1 year. 15 to 135 people trained, which is a number from December. Now I think close to 150 probably, right?
Somewhere around that, yeah.
Yeah.
144. Yeah.
Yeah. And almost everyone have gone through your training, Randall. What an impact.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah. Uh, Anamika, what's good?
So, positive focus for me this week has been really celebrating wins, be it small, be it big. So, celebrating the wins, like today, one of my team members, she also completed 1 year. So now most of my team members have already crossed 1 year. So it's actually a big achievement for me, to be honest. And yesterday, a lot of people in Philippines, they completed 1 year. So seeing the success, all of them being here, like more than 1 year, it's like a huge impact. So yeah, celebrating those wins.
That is so amazing. So awesome. And we did one exercise during my last tour of different offices. Uh, and this was only with the LMA team members where they have the responsibility to lead people. It could be team lead, it could be manager, it could be director. And we asked them to write their name and write number of years that they are with the company. And altogether in India and in the US, Philippines is relatively new. We have close to 500 years of experience. And if you just count people where they have been with the company over a decade, and that is, I mean, I felt the same way, Anamika, that, oh, what a win. How many people are with IT by design in each one of these offices? And just these small sessions. And one session that we did in Chandigarh, I think it was 130 people, 130 years, Steve, just with one group.
Yes, Sunny.
And I don't know if Ankur is here. Ankur did one group for service team in Noida, and not everyone was present there, and that was 120. So just little different departments, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And Philippines, 1 year now there because we are relatively new there and we just started growing. So that is so much positive. From positive focus point of view, how many people are part of this community and doing wonderful things together? That is awesome. Okay, Raj,
Yes, Sunny.
positive focus.
Well, for me, it's just great to see my guys receiving commendations from their clients. It's also great to see our clients expanding. One of the clients I handle here just added one more engineer. So those are the wins for me.
That is awesome. Awesome. Okay, so before we get into this and talk about the main topic for today, which is resilience, and number one takeaway that I want to share is gratitude. Gratitude. If we can all write it down, gratitude in life, gratitude moment, gratitude morning, gratitude focus, positive focus. What I started doing, this was a couple of years ago, and it was a life changing that when I get up, so Cam and we take a cup of coffee, and even if it's like I'm rushing to the office, something is critical, and I don't have too much time, then, for whatever reason, and it could be just one sip, and which takes about, let's say if I don't have, we try to sit down for 10 minutes every day. And if it's not 10 minutes, even a minute, you have a cup of coffee, just take a sip and simply saying, I'm grateful for you. And that was a life-changing experience, just that one practice, a daily ritual. It just changes everything. It changes, starts your morning with positive focus. It's just like try doing this with your loved ones. Try doing this with your team members. And you will see that everything changes. Challenges will start looking like opportunities. Struggles they will feel small. They will feel opportunities. So gratitude, positive focus. And if we don't have positive focus, then no matter what we achieve, we will always be unsatisfied. Key to feel satisfied in life is positive focus. Because there will always, no matter what you achieve in terms of your talents, in terms of your achievements, you will not feel satisfied if you don't develop positive focus, gratitude. If you have gratitude, you can have the shittiest day in your life and you still choose to feel satisfied. It's a choice. It's about training your mind to make a choice to focus on what's good happening in life. And it's hard. It's not easy. Like I'm saying, it is like making it very easy to say it. It's simple. It's like not rocket science but learning it and practicing it is hard, even for me. I'm like walking towards that, but it's very more responsibilities you take, harder it gets in your life, and the bigger role that you take, harder it is. Otherwise, everyone will do it. And more forces pull you towards negativity because then you are leading more, you're managing more, you're producing bigger results, and that takes you to the negative side because there's always something in your bigger list that's not working. The point that I'm making is that daily ritual will build that muscle, and gratitude muscle can be developed, but it takes intention, it takes that daily practice to make a choice. It's a mindset shift to start with, to be practical. It's about your thinking, always thinking and starting every action that you have, the major activity that you have. So for example, like what we just started as a session, and when we start our meetings, we start our meetings with positive focus. And I'm being more intentional now than ever before that start with positive focus. There will always be something in L10s and daily huddles that, okay, some number is not working, something is not working. But when we start our meetings with positive focus, it could be you as a manager doing a review of your team members. It could be quarterly, annual review. It could be a meeting, daily huddle. It could be a weekly L10. It could be a quarterly piece. So always start with positive focus. When you start doing it, you will see that you are developing that muscle. So gratitude being the key, and daily practice being the key, and having a gratitude chair at home being like, it could be just designated place, it could be couch, it could be chair, it could be wherever. Just starting your morning, and even when you open your eyes, your mind will start, never touch your phone, at least for 15 minutes. If you can develop your practice to an hour or so, that is so wonderful. Just imagine that you are not up yet. You're still sleeping, even when you're, so that's, have that, when you have that urge to pick your phone and start scrolling, don't touch it. Tell yourself that I'm still sleeping. I'm not touching my phone. And when you wake up, starting with a positive thought, positive focus, and one thought you can always have, no matter how shitty it gets, is I'm alive. I woke up. I can see. Because when you get up and you have that overall consciousness, awareness that you're up, here's another day. If you start with positive focus that, hey, I'm up, I got up. Just simply starting with that will set the stage for the day. Okay, so that's number one. Now, there is a book called Grit. And whenever there is a challenge, what it takes is courage. It takes confidence to overcome that challenge. So different people will find courage from different sources. You have to ask yourself, what's my source of strength? Where do I normally go to draw strength, courage? I use a mantra, like I have just 2 lines, and it's very spiritual for me. So when I say that, then no matter what's happening in my life, I am the most courageous person to deal with that situation. Even if, so we are human beings, we feel like, the courage is one of my friend. But I think that's how you kind of really make bigger choices. It takes courage. It takes a lot of that resilience for risk. But even like as a human being, there are days then you don't have that level of courage, and you have to just find something in your life that gives you strength. And sometimes it could be relationships, it could be just kind of one line that you read somewhere, it could be some kind of quote that you can have. So have like something in your back pocket the day you're not feeling courageous, then kind of say that. Remind yourself. The grit. I mean, so we talk in the beginning of this year, I came up with that 3 Gs, which was gratitude, grit, and that leads to growth. And in that book, Grit, the book that I'm talking about, they talk about like if you are able to have that courage and confidence to look at a challenge and see, okay, what is in my control to solve this problem? And if it's the controllable piece, then all you have to do is look at what uncertainties are there that are making it uncertain, and challenges. But challenge is basically you want to do something and your brain is saying your brain is not certain about doing it, or certain about the solution. Now, that certainty will come from you overall knowing what questions to ask. If you don't know, it's not in your controllables list. If it's in controllable, then you have the control to solve the problem. Why to worry? And if it's not in your controllable list, then sometimes it's just being able to ask people, being able to ask questions from your coaches, mentors, anyone in your life that you respect. Being open, not keeping it here, because that leads to stress. Being able to just talk to someone, and sometimes solution comes. And sometimes it's just going for a coffee break. I find a lot of solutions when I just go for a Starbucks run. If I'm stuck somewhere in the office or home, and I'm like, oh man, I can't come up with a solution, I will just go for coffee. You just have to change the environment. That memory reference sometimes, like when I'm driving to Starbucks, you're just changing your scenery, changing your environment sometimes can lead to solutions as well. But okay, so now I said we're going to learn from each other. So I have a question for the group. The question is, share a moment when it was struggle. You felt challenged. It could be any personal, professional situation where you were challenged. And what strategies you have used in the past to overcome that challenge with grit and grace. So what strategies have you used in the past to overcome challenges with grit and grace?
I'll start, Sunny. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Steve.
Well, Sunny, starting from the positive focus and then the be grateful. I think my grateful moment every day is that I got another day to live in this universe, beautiful universe. That is, I think, the first thing I say when I wake up, and then thank God for that moment. Now to your question, Sunny. You know it. I'm just not going to go too back. But any situation, the attitude which I have is that any situation which comes in front of me, so I see it in a way that I have two options. Either I can be a victim of that situation, or I can use that situation in my favor. by learning from it, or by maybe challenging myself to get something good out of that situation. That's, I think, when something comes in my life on a personal side. So I made a choice that either I can cry about it, or I can focus on me and then get out of it. And that really helped me in my favor.
That is so amazing. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Steve. Can we give some love to Steve, guys? Yeah. Being a growth mindset person, not a victim mindset person, is always important. You will see victims all around you when it's never their fault. fault. It's everything that's happening in their life is someone else's fault. For those individuals, it's hard to look at a challenge and deal with that challenge head on with grit and grace. They will find someone to blame. They will never take ownership, even when they can. But then there are like challenges are of many different types, right? So if the challenge is, for example, when I came to this country, when I was 17, and this is like when I graduated. So this picture it's on my desk. I don't know if you guys see it. The at that young age, I could start telling myself that, hey, you are in this country as an immigrant, you don't know the language, you don't know people, and or in the first year or two, when that experience that you go through, and it's like you start blaming others. That's happening to me because of my race or color or something else. Or I can say, hey, or, where that feeling is life is not fair. Why? I have to go through this when kids of my age at that time were like having parties here in New York City, and I'm working 7 days and 12 hours and night 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. On the other side, it could be, hey, uh, be helpful and useful. Life is not fair. So be helpful, be useful to someone. Or everything is made up. I shared this in the past as well, that everything is made up. You can make things up too. Create something. Taking ownership is really, really important. Taking your life seriously and ownership. And at least things that are normal when it comes to challenges is like part of life. There is no life without struggle. There is no life without challenges. Then you are developing that mechanism where you are taking ownership, you being growth mindset person that Steve is sharing, rather than a victim mindset. You're looking at a challenge as an opportunity. It's just, there is a solution. You just don't know it. Because there is always an answer to a challenge. Can we write it down? There is always an answer to a challenge. And there is always more than one answer to a challenge. And there is always a new answer. So the answer, the solution for a challenge today is basically the answer. But when you talk about innovation and new thinking and creativity, there is always a new answer. There's always a new solution. And there are always more than one solutions. And there are some challenges that will come in our life, right? Now, I was just thinking about this it was a moment of reflection for me. On my 50th birthday this year, one of my bucket list item is to take my parents to a couple of places that they want to go to. I tried so many times to take them to different places. They don't like traveling. They just want to stay home. But now they want to go this year to a couple of temples in India. And I'm like, okay, this will be an opportunity for me to take them. And the thought was that, they are about 70, that how many more years they will be with me. So I need to take some time, a week or so, to take a trip with them. That will be a memory. So there are things in life, or the struggles, challenges, whatever we want to call them, they are not in our control. I know we all will leave this earth one day. And I know that based on the average human expectancy, for them, I will be lucky if I have them when they're able to walk and talk and have their cognitive functions working, maybe for another 15 years. So this will be an opportunity to do that. But the point that I'm making is that in some situations we got to be prepared as well. And why I say this is that sometimes, there are things that happen in our life where we are not able to, we don't know. I mean, in this situation for my parents, there will be that emotional hit when I lose them. And there are situations when you don't know, it just happens all of a sudden. And in our life, it happens. And if we are mentally prepared that this is the reality of our life, this is the reality of our world, and what if questions, that what if, and now I'm talking about non-controllable list. There's a controllable list, there is a non-controllable list of challenges. And when it comes to non-controllable list, what if this happens and what we will do? Of course, staying present is important for gratitude and everything, but also being able to prepare your mind for unexpected situations is also important. I know, Javed, you have, I'm going to invite you, if you don't mind sharing, is, when I visited you on York Avenue in the hospital, when you had gone through some heart surgery, that was unexpected, right? And it was not in your controllable list. That was a challenge, but you dealt with that with grit and grace and build that muscle. And probably now this time when that injury happened, again, that was unexpected in the gym. And you probably used that developed muscle to deal with that, because I know the way you dealt with the first challenge about a decade ago versus this, I could see that change, that you had a lot more grace to deal with this challenge this time. So can you share your experience? What strategies have you used to develop that muscle?
Yeah, I mean the first time, thanks Sonny for having me. The first time when I had my heart surgery, it's you think the world is ending. You think that, oh my God, possible I can't wake up tomorrow, and you start to think about, what happens after you go. And that's it's scary, and it's the reality. But you wake up and then you're like, okay, this is the next day. And even then you're still in a state of, okay, reaction. Oh my God, I'm in so much pain. Oh my God, this hurts. Oh my God, I can't do everything I wanted to do today. This is going to be the rest of my life. And you go into kind of mild state of depression. But I can tell you that then 4 months later, that was just a memory. That was a learning experience where at one point you thought, okay, it's the end of the world. You realize, okay, you made it through it. Life goes on. And those type of instances teach you that, not unless it's the end of the world, it's not the end of the world. That's one reality I've come to. That you have to think that there is likely going to be tomorrow, There's likely a way, as Sunny said, to navigate this and find a solution. And how do I plan for the next step? How do I plan for the next day? So again, me being careless, job it is. When I injured myself 4 months ago, it sucked, of course, but immediately my mind was, okay, I have to work the problem. I have to think about what's next. Instead of me going into, oh my God, this sucks, I'm so sad. I started thinking, how do I get back? And I immediately went to the doctor. I texted Sonny, hey Sonny, how can Reagan help me here, and what kind of medicines can he give me? So I started to think along those lines, and the reflection that I share with others now is that I see some of our team's reactions when we have an incident with a client, or a negative situation with a new hire, or a poor experience at work, or even at home. And I tell them it could be a lot worse. And I tell this to my kids too. It could be a lot worse. So you need to realize that if you're not going to fix it, it's not going to get fixed. Start to work the problem. If you guys saw The Martian, who raise your hand if you saw The Martian, one of the best movies of all time, right? If you guys remember at the end, that was what Matt Damon was talking about in the classroom. He's like, once you realize that, it's possible that this could be it, you don't freeze, you don't panic, you don't stop, you start to work the problem, you start to keep moving forward. And that's really what life's taught me, that you fall so you can get back up and always keep working the problem. Thanks, Sonny.
Thank you, Javed. Thank you. Yeah, it could have been worse, or worse can happen. And this is nothing type of attitude. It helps. And no, that was a real life example, because I have seen Javed live through those two very, very challenging life situations. And yeah, so with the controllable list, there is an approach of growth mindset, not victim mindset. What can I do? Who can I ask great questions to overcome? It's just an uncertainty that you're dealing with, and you just need to, your brain is looking for a solution, certainty in that situation. When it comes to non-controllable list, then things can happen. We got to be ready all the time. All the time, we got to be ready from our own health point of view, our relationships point of view, our career point of view. Anything can happen to us. If I'm breathing right now, this breath is there. I don't know if I'm going to have the opportunity to take the next breath. That's not in my control. It's not predictable. Same thing with relationships. Relationships I have today, I should never take those for granted. I don't know if I'm going to have those in the next minute. Same thing with everything around us where they are in non-controllable list. I have Brian here. Brian, good morning. Brian is new to our US team. First of all, welcome to the team. And I think this is your first session.
Yep.
And Brian, do you have any life experience that you would like to share with us where we can learn from your learnings in terms of challenges, life challenges, and how you have dealt in the past with grit and grace?
Well, Sonny, I had a severely handicapped child. And, you can just sit there and look and go, well, she's going to stay in the house, shut up all day, or you're going to put her warehouse her or be in the hospital, and she's not going to have a really great life. And we were told by the doctors she was only supposed to live to be about 4 or 5. We chose to try to give her as much of a normal life as we possibly could. So she was able to do things like, go to the movies, play baseball, go on vacations. Near the end of her life, she was actually able to register and then was able to vote in an election. So she was very happy with that. Give her a good education and things. And she ended up living to 21. So the joke's on the doctors. And we could have chosen to be miserable about it, but no, we didn't. We tried to make things as normal as possible for her. and enjoy every day we could with her.
I appreciate you sharing that because when you shared that during our interaction, and I'm like, there are so many situations that can come in our life, and especially in this situation for parents, when it comes to a child, and dealing with that hardship is extremely difficult. It's emotional. It's difficult. It's just yeah, and it's not in the controllable list.
Yep.
And there are these type of situations that can come in anyone's life. And when we wake up in the morning and when we are alive, and that's a more, the gratitude that we were talking about earlier. And when our loved ones wake up and healthy, then I think that's another gratitude opportunity for everyone. Because, the way I used to think, like when young, I think you don't know what you don't know younger. And now more and more you live your life and experience your life and see others how they are experiencing their life, and you learn from everywhere, and you realize that you cannot take anything for granted. And where I used to take things for granted in terms of, okay, let me just do this for a couple of years, then I will spend more time with this person. And I think when we talk about life by design and intentionality of those four wheels, that's why it's important that relationships are equally important to live a balanced life. So there was a speaker, he gave us his whole framework of like how he schedules time with his loved ones. He's an entrepreneur. He showed his calendar as well. It was just a couple of weeks ago that, okay, so the point that I'm making is that a lot of times, especially when we are busy professionals, the bigger responsibilities you take, and there's a lot more to do. And sometimes it's like that balance is hard to live, the four wheels of life that we talk about. Health, relationships, career, and legacy. And being intentional about protecting your time and your calendar to spend time with people that you care about is very important. Now, Kyle, you have gone through recently. I don't know if you're able, I don't see you. I don't know if you're able to hear me. Uh,
Hi,
can
Tony.
you share some of your learnings from your life experiences where overcoming challenge was hard, and how did you deal with that? What can we learn from your experience?
Thank you. I wanted to, if I could help anybody here, I wanted to jump in and speak to that. It's very much the positive mindset helps so much. Being around positive people is a huge help. But for me, and this is a hard one, controlling your controllables, right? It's a mindset for me mostly, and it's easier said than done at times. But if we base, in my thought process is, if I base how I feel, how I react, how I behave, and what I do on what happens around me, on what other people may do or what happens to other people, it's going to set you up for a pretty miserable life. So understanding and accepting that ahead of time, but also the positive focus. It's so easy to focus on negative in life. It is so easy. And life already gives us enough of that. So the more we can focus on the positive things, just being able to breathe, taking a breath, because, negative thoughts, talking negative, thinking negative, you're telling your body things are bad. So it's always good to speak positive, think positive. And something as simple as breathing and being appreciative of being able to take a breath, being able to have access to and drink clean water, just the little things. It can be hard at times, but it is so important, so important. But yeah, and then community is key in those moments in life as well. I know a lot of us don't always have good, positive people, but they're out there. If you're one of those that may not have people, make sure you get out and get around good, positive people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Kyle. So yeah, Kyle, I have gone through some very, very difficult time as well. Just like Brian, it was more of a challenge was on the relationships side, and like it's not in our controllable. What we were discussing earlier. In those situations, you're like, what the positive focus and what's in my controllable, and surrounding yourself with good mindsets and having that support structure, community as a support structure, family as a support structure is very important, because at difficult times it takes your family, it takes people where they will be with you in good times and bad times. We are all human beings. We need those support structures. And that's why it's important to, the old way of family structures. I lived in East and West culture. And one thing that I appreciate a lot about Eastern culture, when I lived in India, now I go to Philippines a lot, is family structures are very strong to support each other. And it's very important to, I mean, it takes work. We got to do our part, contribute to build that healthy family as well. Healthy relationships, like a group of people where you are experiencing life together. And is Todd there? Todd, good morning. He was here. I don't know if he's there. Okay, now I'm going to have open invitation if there is anyone who wants to. They have had a challenging situation in life, and they're open to share how they dealt with that challenge.
I think Manu had raised his hand earlier. Manu, you want to share something?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Manu.
Yeah, so for me, Sunny, whenever I have a challenging situation, I take a pause and I reflect and take some time and then, plan how I can deal with that situation, rather than just reacting then and there.
Responding, not reacting.
Yes.
That is amazing. Yeah, take a pause. Not everything needs to be dealt with right away. And slowly we learn, and every day I'm still learning and I still react. But it got so much better that the urge that used to be there at 20 to reply to a nasty email right away and becoming more nastier in that response, it just doesn't, it won't serve well. You learn that, okay, no, if someone, you can't control other people's mindset, you can't change people. The only thing that you can do is change yourself. And what is in your controllable is just sleep on that email. And even if you want to write it, then just keep it in your saved emails and then read it tomorrow, next day, and then send. Mani, you're saying something?
Yeah, and I also completed 1 year in Philippines, Sunny.
Oh yeah, awesome.
So almost a Filipino now.
Almost a Filipino now. Yeah, you started looking like one. Yeah. But you look like a Filipino actor. That's what everyone tells me there. What is the name, guys? In Anamika, there is a name. You probably know the name.
Is it Ian?
Yeah, Ian Ben Russian.
Yeah. See, Manu knows it better, Sunny, more than me.
Yeah. Helena is saying yes. That's what he looks like. Yeah, but Manu, from how many years you are associated with ITBD total, though?
Almost 10 years, honey.
10 years, yeah. So there's another. I think should we count that now experience of 10 years in Philippines or in Chandigarh?
All the locations, honey. I've been in Noida, I've been in Chandigarh. Only US is left now.
Only US is left. And yeah, so now you will come to build it. That way you can complete that list as well. Yeah. No, awesome. We appreciate you. A lot of gratitude for you, your impact on many different sites. And okay, so one more thing that that I just from Manu's conversation, and one thing that I have one more insight that I want to share is never compare yourself with anyone else's success. You are unique. Be yourself because everyone else is taken. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken. You are a unique individual with unique talents and mindsets and heart, everything. What is in your heart, the way your heart operates is so unique. And there's only one heart that you have, which, I mean, the heart that you have, no one else have that. So if that is true, then why should you compare your life journey and your successes with anyone else? Because if you do that, then if you're in that race you cannot win and you will never be satisfied. You will always find challenges that don't exist because the challenge that you are bringing to your mind in that case is, I don't have this that this person have. It could be salary. It could be relationships. It could be health, right? If I start comparing my biceps with Javed, I can't win that race. If I start comparing myself from health, from relationships, from career, from legacy point of view with anyone else, then there is no satisfaction. The satisfaction that comes is from the thinking of you comparing yourself with your past. Where I was a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, if your life journey is expanding, you are expanding, right? Then that gives you satisfaction that you have achieved what you have achieved today in reference to your past is how you should reflect on your successes, not with anyone else. Because otherwise, there is no race to win. I mean, if you get into that race, there is no way for you to win. And there is no way for you to feel satisfied. And there are so many studies done on many different countries. More poverty they have seen in a country, more satisfaction they have seen in their country. And what that tells us is that money or wealth won't create happy human beings and communities. Wealth alone, money alone, it's important. But if people with less money can be more happier than people with more money, what it tells us is that happiness is a choice, and you don't need to be wealthy to feel healthy, to feel happy. You don't need to be wealthy to eat healthy. You don't need to be wealthy to have healthy relationships. You don't need to be wealthy to have healthy purpose. Those are the things, those are the freedoms that your life, your brain, your mind, your heart is looking for. Your, at the end of the day, in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, human experience and human satisfaction, where you have that, when you go to the top, where is joy, where is more of fulfillment, it comes from your thinking. It comes from your mind. Are you looking for praise, more praise? Are you looking for, then you're at the bottom of the pyramid. If you're looking for more just money, then you're at the bottom of the pyramid, where the joy, the fulfillment is that you living with purpose, you feeling that you are making an impact in your life, you feeling that your work matters, your meaningful work, and it's impacting other human beings. It comes, of course, safety, security, food, shelter. Those are the basic needs. And majority of people who are on this call, they are making enough money to not live on the streets, where they can have shelter, they have food, they have, they can have the basic needs. After that, it's just thinking that I can always have more. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be ambitious to build my capabilities to achieve more purpose, more relationships, healthy, authentic relationships, more health. But I'm comparing my health, my relationships, my career, means my financial freedoms, with my past, not with anyone else. I will take one question if anyone have a question.
Wanted to have a couple techniques I use to purposely choose to be happy. And I was wondering if you had any advice on that, Sunny. For me, I like to speak positive words out loud each morning and just say, today is a glorious day and I will rejoice and be glad. And I very do much think happiness is a choice, but if you have any advice or tricks, I would love to hear it.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for the question, Kyle. So that gratitude chair in the morning, where when we wake up, so it's just the morning practice, setting up your day with that positive focus, starting your day with the positive focus. What I'm grateful for is a question, and you taking, 5 minutes to think about what are you grateful for. And if you can do that with someone that you love the most and people who are important in your life, start with them, that's even better. So I think gratitude is the way, and that covers all other pieces that we have covered, that always have gratitude for your today, your present, with your as reference to your past, not with someone else. And also, controllable, non-controllable list, having that mental frame, that what's in my controllable list and what's in my non-controllable list. Thank you for that question, Kyle. It's 9 a.m. and team, you have an amazing day and live with gratitude, grit, and growth. And I wish you all a bigger future.